Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday. It is April 22nd. And today we are going to be focusing on the volume of a cone. So we have a new formula that we're going to use today to find the volume of a cone. So on your paper or wherever you're working, you're going to go ahead and write down this formula. So I'm going to define each of our variables. On your paper that you're doing your practice problems on, go ahead and follow along with me. So V, I know, always equals volume. That is what we're trying to find. How big or how much stuff can these cones hold? Pi, we are always going to use 3.14. And some of you yesterday in office hours made a good point. Pi actually keeps going. It's got a lot of decimals that come after, a lot of more numbers. We're just going to use 3.14. I've got R, which is my radius. And again, that's half of my circle down here. And then H is my height. So you might notice that this formula looks pretty similar to the cylinder formula that we used on Monday. And really what the difference is, that's a cylinder, and a cone, you divide it all by 3. So we're gonna do an example together. Example 1, so what is the volume of this cone over here? So I'm going to the first step is to fill in my formula. So write out formula. Here's what I'm going to do. So I've got V equals, and it's going to be pi, so I'm going to write 3.14 times R squared. So I'm going to do the radius, but twice. So I'm going to do 1.5 times 1.5 times the height, 7 inches. Okay, so I'm gonna do all that, and all that divided by 3. Okay, here we go. We're gonna do it on my calculator. Some of you yesterday were like, can I do it without a calculator? And I'm like, sure. That's just a lot of multiplication to do on your paper, but you can totally do that if you want. Okay, here we go. I got my calculator. So into my calculator, I'm gonna put 3.14, so 3.14 times 1.5 times 1.5 times 7 equals, okay, so I get, for this one, I got 49.455. Okay, so I'm writing that down just because I've been doing these problems for kind of a long time, and I know myself, and sometimes I mess up because I lose it on the calculator, or I press a random button, and it's just always good to write it down. So I got this, and my answer's not done yet. I still gotta divide it by 3. So a cone is 1/3 of the size of a cylinder. So I'm gonna do divided by 3. And I got 16.485. So some of us yesterday were asking, like, is this my answer? And yes, this can be your answer, but if you don't want to write, or if, like, let's say your decimal goes on forever and ever and ever and ever, you can round. So we're going to practice rounding to this place right here. And I'm going to look at this number right here to the right of it. Because it's an 8, so if it's a 5 or greater, I'm going to round this number up. So my answer is going to be 16.5, because this 8 is greater than 5. So that's going to be my answer. So today's problems, we're going to do one more example together, and they're going to focus on a dilemma we've all had in the past. And that is, which popcorn do you buy from the movies? So I can tell you guys, when shelter in place is over and when movie theaters open back up, I'm going to the movies and I'm getting popcorn because that is my favorite snack to get at the movies. But they like to rip you off. So I want to know, how can I make sure that I'm getting the most popcorn? Okay, so I found these measurements online. This was for a container that you could buy on the internet to hold popcorn, and we're gonna see how much popcorn could this container hold. Your practice problems are gonna compare more containers, and your job is to figure out which one is the best deal, which one holds the most popcorn. Because when I go to the movies, I'm trying to get hella popcorn and lots of butter. So here we go. I'm gonna find the volume of this cone right here, and then you're gonna do the rest for your practice problems. So again, I got my formula. It's V equals pi r squared height over 3. Okay, so I'm gonna find the volume. So I've got V equals pi is 3.14 times r squared. So I'm gonna do radius, which is half of my circle at the top. So I'm gonna do 3 times 3. And then my height, which is 4.5. Okay, and then all divided by 3. So I'm gonna put it in my calculator. Let's see what we get. Okay, so 3.14 times 3 times 3 times 4.5. And again, I like to write this down because I know myself and I'm gonna mess it up somehow. So I got 127.17 divided by 3. So my calculator, I'm gonna do divided by 3. And my volume is 42.39. And I always gotta make sure that I add my units. So this one, I'm gonna round this up because that's greater than 5. So I got 42.4 inches cubed. Okay, let's see. Is this popcorn container bigger than our last one? Hell yeah, it is. So I definitely get popcorn out of here. So your practice problems, you are gonna go through and find the volume of the different containers and let me know which ones are gonna hold the most popcorn. That's it for this time. If you got questions, you can come to office hours tomorrow or special MLK tutoring today with Dr. Luke. See you later. Bye.